Hello, everyone, and welcome to Over 40 Living Epic Lives Facebook group. Thank you so much for being here today. We really appreciate you. And for those of you who are hopping in right now, let us know if you're watching live or on replay. Live or on replay. And let us know where you're coming in from. We have people watching from all over the United States and internationally. And we'd love to just get to know who all is joining us today. So today we have an amazing TEDx speaker lined up for you. You're going to absolutely love her. And before we bring her out, I'm going to open up my slides so I can give her a proper introduction. So again, hello and welcome to Over 40 Living Epic Lives with myself. And today you are in for a treat. Today we have Diane Allen. She is our special guest. She is the Own Your Potential speaker and violinist. She's an international award-winning speaker and a TEDx speaker. So today she's going to be sharing with us some pretty cool things. And before we bring her out, I just want to let you know what this is all about. This is our Fresh Start Summer Series with Cheryl and Friends. And we are nearing the end of summer, and we've had all these lovely speakers here. We have 3 more set to go that are going to wrap up our summer series. And each and every one of them have been featured in TV and media. They're speakers, they're authors, and so forth. And each and every one of them have something that they have overcome that is extremely instrumental. And that's why we're bringing them out to this group. So some of you do not know me. You're new to me. So I'll say a quick hello. My name is Cheryl. I'm an author, speaker, mindset coach, and aerialist, and I'm 53 years young. I've been a producer and host of a Mind and Body Fitness TV show, founder of a 7-time award-winning boot camp, and a founder of a wellness company. Throughout my life, I have endured everything from mental and physical abuse to being diagnosed with advanced arthritis, losing my career and long-term boyfriend, and more. Starting over in my 50s was one of the most unexpected challenges I've ever endured. And ironically, it has proven to be the best thing ever to happen to me. I specialize in helping women and entrepreneurs over 40 discover where their blocks are, how to rewrite their story, and create the life of their dreams. The methodologies I teach are the very techniques I use to transform my life from feeling like my best years were over to finding my light, writing a book, and starting 2 new businesses and attracting the man of my dreams, and much more. Why am I telling you all this? It's because it's never too late to have your epic encore. So speaking of which, this group is called Over 40 Living Epic Lives. If you know someone who would benefit by being in this group, take a moment to invite them today. We would really appreciate it. So today we have Diane Allen. She's going to go over how to find meaning and purpose in our lives and how to get into the flow state. Diane Allen, the Own Your Potential speaker and violinist, is an international award-winning speaker and TEDx/TED speaker. She's been on both platforms. She is an expert in the positive psychology of peak performance, the flow state. Diane is known for her experiential keynotes that have helped thousands of people around the world to break through their performance gaps and unleash their potential. Her flow state has been published in Authority Magazine, Thrive Global, and ideas.ted.com. And Diane has been seen on ABC, CBS, NBC, Fox, Ticker, and The List, and her TEDxNaperville talk has been elevated to the main TED platform. This is a very big deal. All right, so for those of you, again, watching, let us know if you're watching live or on replay, and throughout this talk, please give us one takeaway, something you're really enjoying that lets us know that what we're sharing with you here today is of great impact and value to you. So now we are going to bring out Diane. So Diane, come on out.
Hi, Cheryl.
Hi, so nice to have you here. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
You are so welcome. So if you will, tell us your name again and tell us what you do.
My name is Diane Allen. I'm a violinist and a speaker, and I present about the positive psychology of peak performance, which is the flow state. It's something that's been, it's a psychological term, and it's been verified by the neuroscience of it. There's a real science of it. And my take on flow state is practical application of flow state. So I like to talk about what is flow state, how do we get into it, how does it serve us, and how does it bring more meaning to our lives.
I love that. I love that. Okay. So, these are different times. All of us have been through, just our worlds have been kind of shaken up. And now more than ever, many of us are wanting to find purpose and meaning and find our happiness and find our purpose. And when I met you, I knew immediately that I wanted to have you in this group because I knew you would inspire so many of us. And you have a great story. You and I have had the opportunity to talk prior to this. Mm-hmm. So if you will, in this group, it's about mindset, heavy on the mindset and overcoming challenges. Mm-hmm. So if you will, share a story that led you to the career that you have today and how it led you to be this amazing TEDx speaker.
Thank you. I'm 58, and when I was
hold on, let's pause there. 58.
58, and when I was 47, it was a defining moment because my husband was turning 50, and I don't know why, but his turning 50 triggered something in me, and I remember saying to him, "I feel like I need help, but I don't know what kind of help. I don't feel like I need to go to therapy or psychologist or anything." I was just very confused. And so I had built up a career as a violinist. I was the lead violinist of the Central Oregon Symphony for 15 years. I taught for violin for 28 years. I have hundreds of students. And I worked so hard to build that up. So it was very strange when I was 48, when I would go to perform with the symphony, and I noticed that I was starting to feel numb, that I wasn't into it. I was playing a Beethoven symphony. I had decided I probably should take a year's leave of absence to figure things out. And I remember it was the last concert and I'm playing a Beethoven symphony, and I was just not even feeling the music. And I was saying to myself, what if, I was kind of threatening myself, what if this is the last time you ever performed Beethoven? What if this is the last time you've ever performed in an orchestra? And not even that pulled it out of me. So I took that year's leave and I ended up quitting, selling my violin. I pretty much was done. And it's fascinating because when YouTube was in its infancy and I was at the height of my teaching career, I was on there. I was an early adopter with YouTube, and I'm on there making violin tutorials. And as soon as I saw myself on video and I saw how poor I was at speaking, I went and started training as a speaker. So while I was at the height of this violin career, I was just starting out on the speaking business. And then I kind of started waning, and then the speaking started to elevate. So if you kind of take a look at these knobs and switches, the one was turning down, the other one was turning up. And the last thing I'll say about this period of time was it was very strange. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know that I was withdrawing from the violin. I didn't understand why students were leaving me. It was very strange. It was a time when my son was at the height of his teenage rebellion, and my mom, who had Alzheimer's, was declining, and I was her primary caregiver. So during this transition, there was just so many moving parts that I was very confusing, and I didn't know I didn't know what was going on. It was very strange. That's all I could say. So here I am today. We're in the middle of a pandemic, and I have been doing fine during the pandemic. And I think that's because I went through my muddled phase earlier. And one of the things that I had learned from a mentor who asked me, how do you stay committed during difficult times? And I really didn't know. I had to kind of do an internal deep dive. And that's when I discovered that I have a core principle that I live by. And that is my belief in myself is bigger than the obstacle. So I want you to ask yourself this same question. How do you stay committed when times are tough? And just notice that, because whenever, I had been doing that for years without realizing it. And when this mentor asked me this question and I was able to, really kind of replay those difficult times and really get inside and figure out, what am I doing? When I realized this is a core principle that I live by, now when I'm faced with an obstacle, it's not so much of a drama anymore because I know I'm going to rely on that. And so when you identify something like this for yourself, it becomes a tool that you can use. So that's my first mic drop moment for the day.
Yes.
How do you stay committed?
Wow. Wow, Diane, I love this. Just the fact that you said you're able to get back on track. That's one of the hardest things many of us are dealing with right now, is because our worlds were shaken up. And this is a new normal. This is a new, every day is a new surprise. And so if we can train our brain to get back on track, we won't succumb to those things. We will not let those things throw us off track. So I cannot wait to hear. You've got some great tips for us today. And before we hop in, we've got Alba, who says hello, and she's in the Los Angeles area. And Jay is watching from the greater Chicago area. And so far they are saying they love it. So thank you. All right. So shall we go into the tips that you wanted to share with us today? Should we dive into that? Okay.
Yes. So so this kind of spans, the buildup of my violin career. There were a lot of obstacles there. There was a 10-year, I think I'm on the 10-year gap phase, Cheryl, to be honest with you, because between graduating from college and getting my work as, the lead violinist in a full, teaching studio, there was a 10-year gap. And between when I was 47 and last year when I was 57, that's like another 10-year gap where I was kind of in that muddling phase. So what happened for me as a violinist when I was young is I had audition anxiety. And violin is a high precision instrument. And so if you have any nerves and you're trying to make a sound like this, if you have any nerves, this is what happens. It's a high precision instrument. So the amount of cool that I had to keep was very important. I really had to have control over my nerves. And so I was experimenting a lot as a young violinist, and I discovered that getting into the flow state, I didn't know it was called the flow state at that time. I just knew that it was getting into the music, because that's a musician's version of getting into the flow state. So that is, now I know the neuroscience of flow is such that when you are in flow, you lose all sense of time. You feel one with the activity. Ideas and insights are coming from out of the blue. You're in this positive feedback loop where the more you get into it, the more you get out of it, the more you get out of it, the more you get into it. And you're experiencing this fulfillment, this sense of purpose. And the neuroscience of it is such, literally, it's a brain pattern. There are hormones that are released that set us up to be in a peak state. And so those hormones are endorphins, serotonin, dopamine, norepinephrine, and I always mess up over this one, but it's anandamide, I think is what it is. And these hormones are peak performance hormones. They get us into our happiness and this rise to the occasion kind of state. The neocortex amps up, dramatically increasing our learning speed, and the prefrontal cortex temporarily shuts down. And this explains why we lose a sense of time and a sense of ourselves, because the inner critic is turned off, literally. So if I set this string in motion, the goal is to create the vibration of it. And when we get in our own way. So let's say we set this in motion and we say, oh, and you say something like, oh yeah, I shouldn't do it. That's unrealistic. Or, oh, I'm too scared. We're shutting it down. Okay. So the goal is on the violin, it's always to keep the motion of the music going. So that's what happens when the prefrontal cortex is shut down. We become uninhibited. We speak from the heart. So that's what I want to talk about. The 3 steps that I have are for you to take those key indicators that I mentioned: losing sense of time, sense of self. I imagine for Cheryl, it's on the silks.
Yes.
There was a dancer that I was corresponding with earlier. I'm sure it's, when she's dancing. Some people, it's at work. Sometimes it's meetings, when you're in a meeting with a group of teams, when you're bouncing off of each other. You could be lost in an Excel spreadsheet. You could be in the garage fixing your motorcycle. You could be out walking your dog. It could happen anytime, any place. And so what I want to do is walk you through 3 steps so that you can learn how you personally get into the flow state, so you could make it a repeatable process and increase the amount of time that you spend in flow. So whether you're remembering a time when you were in the flow state or finding a time when you slip into flow, I want you to recreate a memory of what it's like to be in flow. And for you who are finding a time, you'll apply these 3 questions in that moment so you can extract your flow strategy. And so the first question is, where? Where are you when you get into the flow state the most? And now ask, what am I doing on the outside and on the inside? For example, on the outside, I'm playing the violin, but on the inside, I'm sharing the message of the music and I'm sharing the experience. So it's this feeling of sharing. Someone who's working on an Excel spreadsheet, on the outside, they're working on the Excel spreadsheet. On the inside, they might be strategizing or visioning. It's unique to you. Now ask why. Why is that so meaningful? What you do on the inside is your most compelling internal self-motivator. And knowing what you do on the inside means you can now shift into your flow state on purpose. And why it's so meaningful is your most compelling external self-motivator. And knowing why it's so meaningful means you can now shift into your flow state with purpose. Your flow strategy is what you do on the inside plus why it's so meaningful.
Wow. That was beautiful.
Thank you.
That was beautiful. I got goosebumps. Oh my gosh, Diane, you're so talented.
The flow state is contagious. It's persuasive and contagious. So when you get into your flow state, it impacts everybody around you. And then they want to get into your flow state. That's what I experienced playing in orchestras. It was this giant group flow experience that would also enroll the audience. So just keep in mind, not only can you use this to inspire yourself, but you can use it to inspire other people. And I know that we kind of blazed through that really quickly, and I just want to just give a couple really quick examples of people's flow strategies, just to kind of give people the idea of like, okay, well, what is it for me? If I mentioned you might be at work, that's where you are when you get into the flow state the most. And what you're doing on the outside is working on an Excel spreadsheet, but on the inside, it might be, let's say, strategizing. And then why it's so meaningful is that those strategies might lead to knowledge, and knowledge is power and freedom. So strategizing is the activity that taps that person into their flow state. And that finding that knowledge, that's that liberation, right? That's why it's so meaningful. In my case, on the inside, I'm sharing. And why it's so meaningful is I was like, okay, well, what is it? And I realized every time we had a concert with an audience sing-along, we'd have, the lights turned on, the choir behind the orchestra, you'd have thousands of people unified in one activity, and I could not hold back the tears. And I realized unity is something that touches me to the core. So if I'm having an off day and I want to bring meaning to it, if I'm struggling through an activity and I'm like, okay, this should feel easier, because when you're in the flow state, things come with ease. Then I try to think about, how can I share in this moment? How can I create unity in this moment? I'll give you one more example. When I'm writing my own music, which is the music that I played for you today, I have a very different flow strategy. I'm in my room here. That's where I am. What I'm doing on the outside is I'm writing music, but on the inside, I'm problem solving. And then why that's so meaningful is when you're writing your own music, it's freedom of speech. So we can have a number of different ways that we get into flow, and a number of different places that we get into flow.
Oh my gosh, I love this. Everyone who's watching, please let us know again if you're watching live or on replay. And if you will, let us know a takeaway, something that Diane shared that really had impact on you. We really want to hear your feedback and your input. There's something about music. So I can see why I can see why you got selected to be a TEDx speaker. It's very unique. It's different. And so you're talking to us with words, but you're also talking to us with music. And I think each and every one of us can relate a little bit. There's something that we really dig. There's something we really love that really lights us on fire. And we know what it feels like to get into that flow. So if we can just get back in there, and if we can apply those steps that you gave us, I think all of us will be a lot happier and have a lot more, meaning and purpose in life. Okay, so Jay says hello. He's saying becoming aware is definitely the key. Edie is watching and she says hello as well. So yeah, all right. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to share some slides and show everyone how they can get in touch with you. I'm going to go off camera, but you can stay on camera. And then when we come back, you can give us any last closing statements you want to share with us as well. All right. So here we go. So everyone, if you would like to learn more about Diane, please go to this link right here. And not to worry, I'm going to paste that in the comments so that you can find it all easily. And let's say all of you or some of you forget about this link. You can go to CherylBroughton.com/guest And you will be able to see all the guests that have come out for the summer, and you can get their contact info. But Diane, while we have you here right now, please tell us, what will they get to experience if they go to this link right here? What are you going to do for our lovely viewers?
Well, we are in the day and age of Zoom presentations. I've done a lot of my keynotes this year on Zoom. And one of the things I miss most is when an event is over and when you're in person, you hang out, you have these really meaningful one-on-one conversations afterwards. So I have nothing to sell you. This is just a link for you to go to start a conversation with me. Maybe you have some comments, maybe you have some questions, maybe you want help figuring out your flow strategy. All you have to do is go to this link. You'll find a Google form when you get there. You just fill it out. And then I promise I will reply to you. And I have some gifts for you. I have an MP3 of my music. I have some inspirational quotes that I can send you, and I will also include a worksheet for getting into your flow state. It's the 3 steps that we did today. So that's what you'll just basically go there to continue the conversation with me.
Awesome. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. And now I'm just going to finish up my slides here. Okay. Oops, here we go. All right, so for those of you who would like to get a copy of your Epic Encore, the book I wrote, you can go to CherylBroughton.com, or you can go to Amazon, and there is a print or digital version. So thank you again, everyone, for watching. If you will, please drop a comment below. Let us know one takeaway. And if you're watching live or on replay, please let us know that as well. And let us know what is it that really grabbed a hold of your heart in this talk with Diane. I know each and every one of us are going to have something really cool to say and to take away. There we go.
Then it becomes a tool for you, right? The goal is for you to increase the amount of time that you spend in flow and to use it to your advantage. For example, the whole reason for figuring out a flow strategy was for me to keep my cool on the violin, because you saw what happens when I'm nervous. And so when I was in that muddling phase in between the violin and the speaking career, I had to go networking, and I had never done anything like that before. You didn't need to really do that in the music world for playing in orchestras. So it was like, I was just a complete fish out of water. It was very awkward trying to break into these conversations. And in the middle of it, I'm thinking, wait a minute. Aren't these conversations an opportunity for me to share? Mm-hmm. And aren't these new connections unifying? And as soon as I realized that, I was like watching myself share this story with somebody with the same passion that I play the violin. And I just had no idea that my flow strategy with the violin could help me out in a different place and in a difficult situation. So you can repurpose how you get into your flow state in all the different landscapes of your life.
Wow. I love this. Thank you. Thank you, Diane, so much. Everyone is loving what you're having to say. And I just want to thank you again so much for being here today. I know everyone is going to be really moved. Again, everyone, let us know if you're watching live or on replay, and let us know where you're coming in from and a takeaway. Let us know something that has really made an impact on you. All right, Diane, I think we'll wrap it up here, unless there's anything else you want to add to that. Are we good?
I think we're good.
All right, awesome. Well, everyone, thank you so much for watching. And I always like to close the show with this statement, and that is, never ever forget, it's never too late for your epic encore. See you everyone. Have a great day. Take care.